Hey, everybody. All right. I have been saying I'm going to start this podcast for, let's say, 2 years now. Let's be conservative, 2 years now. And you know what? We're just going to do it because I have a lot to say. I'm Colleen, and this is the Food Explorer. And so we're going to talk about so many things on this podcast. We have interviews set up with amazing food producers and people that make, bake, grow items. We have interviews set up with people that have written incredible cookbooks, and all of these things we want to talk to you about. So we're going to have a lot of ways that you can connect with us. YouTube. We're going to have our YouTube. We're going to have our podcast. And we'll have that on all your favorite podcast platforms. That'll be just the audio part. We're going to have some Patreon as well, because sometimes you just want to have a little bit extra. And we have some Substack. So we've kind of got everything. But what I wanted to do today was say, what the heck are we going to do and why are we doing this? I've been working with food for a long time now, a decade. Before that, of course, for some of you that know me, maybe you don't know me, I used to be a dolphin trainer. So it was a whole different kettle of fish, can of worms. No, there was no worms. It was all fish. Fish for the dolphins, which are mammals. Come on now, you guys. But with that, I got an opportunity to do a lot of traveling. I got to work around the world. And it was really kind of amazing. But I just wanted to just get on here today and say it's happening. I'm committing. My perfectionist self is what has been holding up this podcast, because I've been just like, well, I want to do stuff, but I don't have everything perfect. You know what? It's not going to be perfect. I saw a billboard the other day and it said, your first podcast, video, photo, book are not going to be perfect. Just get started. So that's what we're doing. We're just getting started. Some of the people that we've got coming up this season, who have been waiting for 2 years, I know it's terrible, but they've actually now had some really incredible things happen in their life. Some of them have been things like producing a book, moving their entire business to a brand new facility. And, I'm so excited because even though it's taken me forever to get started, it's going to be great to actually catch up with some of these people that have had these absolutely huge changes. I mean, for us, we've had a big change. This space that I'm sitting in right now is our teaching space. So we used to have a commercial kitchen for my chocolate business, and it was in a different part of the city, and it was this big giant space, and it was great. But we couldn't do classes there. They were so close-minded. They're like, oh, if you do classes here, we won't know who's in the building. We're like, really? Well, they'll be awesome people because they're being our people. So we just were like, phew. So now we ended up where I live in Alberta in Canada. We were able to set up our commercial kitchen. So as we do more videos, I'll show you my commercial kitchen. We are able to set this space up, and we're going to have people come and do tastings and classes, and I'm making it very pretty. So I've had help from many, many people. I do thank God for my family. So do I thank God though? Because God kicked us out of the where we were at. But whatever. We're good. We're good with him. But we wanted to have the opportunity to really kind of do some fun stuff again, because I used to do all this amazing teaching, and I would teach raw food classes. And so you're probably like, what's raw food? We're going to talk about it. I like to consider raw food more of that sort of like less processed food. And we would do amazing desserts and meals and entrees and breakfasts and all sorts of stuff. And I had such a fun time doing that. And I actually got to go and teach in a lot of different places. Then we moved on to when we started really specializing in the chocolate events. We kind of moved over to tastings. Let's do tastings. Let's introduce people to chocolate. Let's, bring them in, take them on this beautiful experience through chocolate, and teach them, like, where the heck does chocolate come from? Trust me, people, they don't know. They're like the Easter Bunny. 100%. That is where chocolate comes from. You know it. I know it. It's the Easter Bunny. But other than the Easter Bunny, it has to grow somewhere, and it grows on trees. So we actually are developing. I'm very excited about this because as our tasting events have evolved, we want to give people more. And so we're creating our own tasting wheels. So these are the wheels where, when you're like, it's on the tip of my tongue. I know that taste. I know that flavor. I can't think of it. Tasting wheel is a great way for you to look at it and go, it's raspberries. That's what I taste. I taste raspberries. And so we have a lot of different things that are coming just even with our little business. And we're going to invite you in. We're going to have you guys here with one of our tasting events and basically kind of unfiltered going through tasting chocolate. Everybody is different. We all have a different palate. I always like to say, there's the people that can eat, a California Reaper pepper and they're like, that was okay. And then there's the rest of us that are human that are like, my guts will never forgive me if I eat that. There's people that can tell the difference between an apple and a pear, and there's people that can't tell the difference between chicken and cheese. It's all good. And part of that we're going to kind of dive into with this podcast. Like, how is it that we develop our palate, develop our flavors? If you think about what you typically eat, do you more spicy food, less spicy food? Personally, I'm just going to be honest with you here. The first time I ever had an avocado, I was in my 30s. I know I look super young. Thank you. Thank you for the compliments. But I didn't grow up with avocados. I grew up in Canada, in Alberta, where we do have winter for about 6 months of the year. But the benefit of that is that we don't have spiders the size of your house. So that's a beautiful thing. But I didn't grow up eating avocados and papayas and passion fruit. And now I love passion fruit. I love it. In chocolate, chef's kiss, delicious. Avocados, also amazing. But there's a dark side to some of these foods, and people don't think about it. They're like, oh, quinoa, it's so beautiful and wonderful and great. Quinoa has issues. We're going to discuss this. We're also going to do in this podcast something that I've been wanting to do for so long now. We're going to do, I don't know what I'm going to call it, like undercover episodes. These are the things that make me crazy and drive me nuts. And I think that you will probably be like, yeah, that drives me nuts as well. When I go to a coffee shop and I'm getting charged an extra $1.25 for that alternate milk, I'm unhappy. It's not costing you that much. I'm unhappy. But we're going to start looking at like, where do we have things in our food system that don't make sense, that do make sense, that are totally like 100% worth it? And please, do not get me wrong. I still go to the coffee shop, and yes, I give them all my money. And it is what it is. I'm not going to stop drinking coffee, but I'm going to be angry about it. And fun fact, when I'm at a coffee shop, I ask for no foam on my latte. I want no foam on my latte. Now, when I'm at home, I'm like giant head of foam, eating it with a spoon. I am the happiest camper. That's because I made that coffee, and it didn't cost me an extra $1.25 for my milk. So coffee shops, those of us that can't have dairy, you're killing us. You're killing us if you give us the dairy, but that's another story. So we're going to discuss a whole bunch of things, and I'm so excited to bring this podcast to you. So I want to just get on here today, record this. I'm putting it out there. I'm doing this because I don't know why I've been waiting for so long. So what can you do to stay in touch with us? Well, I'm going to put all the links below this video for where we're going to be. And we're just starting, so there's not a lot there yet. But we're going to get the Instagram. We're going to get the Patreon. We're going to have the YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Everybody tells you to do that. But honestly, it's kind of helpful. And we're going to start building this community up. And most importantly, I want to hear from you. I have an entire list of people. I have, when you create your big, hairy, audacious goals, your BHAGs, I have a list of people that I want to talk to. And I'm just going to let you in on a little secret. I'm going to a symposium at the end of September, and two of the people that are on my list that I wanted to talk to for this podcast that I wrote down 2 years ago. Maybe I'll show you my spreadsheet one day. Maybe not. It's weird and messy. But they're on my list, and I just found out like 2 days ago they're going to be at the symposium. Do you think I'm going to be taking my podcast stuff there and doing a recording? Yeah, I am. Obviously, I'm going to get permission first. I'm not going to fangirl all over them and stalk them because that's weird. Don't do that. But I'm hoping that I can get them because they're coming from far, far away. And wouldn't it be cool to do something in person? So, with that, though, tell me what you want to know. Is there a topic, anything about food that you're like, I've always kind of wondered this? Okay. And I will do my best to try and answer it. I want to kind of be a resource for all things food. We're exploring food. It's the Food Explorer. That's what we're called. But I also want to see what you guys want to know. Is there something, where do honeybees go in the winter? I know a bee farmer. We'll go talk to them. Where do they go in the winter? Do they lay their little bee heads down and they, and their little fuzzy butts? They're so cute. Or do they die? I don't know. Like, we should find this out together. But let me know what you want to know. We're going to figure it out. And other than that, stay tuned. I've got so many things coming and I'm excited. So let's do this together. I'm ready for this. I am not going to procrastinate anymore. I have all the equipment. My goodness, I have all the equipment. So let's get it done. I will talk to you very soon, everybody. Have an amazing day.